Well, hello there. My name is John, and I almost died on Christmas morning, about 3 in the morning. Um, I'm a little over 50 years old, and I have stage 4 cancer. It's metastatic squamous cell carcinoma. I was told it was pretty aggressive. I'm sure I'll be able to put some pictures in here when I do edits. But it's not as deep as a basketball, but the diameter of the tumor is about the size of a basketball. It covers my butt crack is gone. I feel like I have a nasty tumor hanging out in the perineal area, I think it's called. So it's numb. My whole genitals are numb now. Not as bad as they were a few days ago, but my both of my butt cheeks are numb. Not totally numb, but the left one is probably 50% numb, and the right one is probably, depending on how bad the infection is, because that's where I get my infections is in the right butt cheek, and I have one right now. I have a big one actually. It's kind of why I'm actually traveling, and I thought I should be filming it because I had a massive bleed Christmas morning, about 3 o'clock, and covered my entire apartment with blood. I almost died. I know it because I could feel it closing in on me, and I fought against it. It was like I could see these clouds just circling around me, and they were sucking me in, or it was closing in on me, and there was this big blue light, in the center of the clouds, and I just kind of pulled myself out of it. But I did eventually lose consciousness, but that was after I had got the bleeding to stop. And that bleeding just terrified me because it was just coming out so much. And I've been having massive bleeds for almost a year now. So I'm always battling anemia, infection after infection, man. And I just, I haven't been using pain medicine. I used tramadol, which was causing problems with my bowels. So I couldn't use that. That was really the only thing that was available to me. No opiates or anything like that. I've had to go to the hospital a few times. I had surgery on a cystic mass. I think that was in October. So I've had a rough go of it since July when I got kicked out of my house for being a jerk. My girlfriend at the time, who was also my caretaker because she was a retired nurse, I was bleeding really bad, and I had taken 10 hits of acid, and I was doing coke for pain, and I was just having massive bleeds, man, and she couldn't get it to stop, so I kind of shoved her. But it wasn't a violent shove. It was, a shove like I would shove my best friend. Like, get out of here, man, come on. But if you're treating your partner as your best friend like that, then that's not good. So, but anyway, I got taken out of there in handcuffs, man. The ministerial police came in with their freaking guns drawn, and look, the reason I did all that was the acid was because I had lost so much blood the past week that it was kind of, we didn't think I was going to make it another day. so, so, um, so that was why, and, you know, I was trying to play my guitar, and I started bleeding, and in March, when she couldn't get the bleeding stopped, I said, just get out of the way, I'll take care of it. And I grabbed a bunch of bandages, diapers, and tried to just staunch it. We were all a little fucked up. It was her birthday, and it was a party. And I was trying to not be an ass, and I ended up being one. Not intentional. I was just fighting for my life, kind of. But anyway, uh, you know, they ended up leaving, and I didn't even know they were leaving. That was how out of it I was. I had lost so much blood. I didn't even know what was really going on. And, I took the acid, but it wasn't that strong. I've taken 10 hits before. So I wasn't really tripping, like psychedelic. Um, was just, it was kind of my good pipe. It turned into, it was kind of gonna be my last day, man. And so I also, I don't know if this other person involved convinced her to say this about me, that I threw the guitar at her, but I was throwing it in the yard because I was mad at my guitar because it had made me start bleeding. So, but like I said, I was so out of it, I didn't even remember it had happened until a few days later. It took me several days before I even remembered what happened. So, but, I was throwing my guitar in the yard because I was mad at it. I was like, damn it, you just almost killed me, man. I loved you, and you almost killed me, man. So that was the whole guitar thing. And, yeah, I went to sleep not thinking I was going to wake up. I got all of my belongings and piled them up on the rocks and set them on fire. Burned my guitar, burned my cell phone, I burned everything. I burned all kind of shit. So I wish I hadn't burnt my guitar, man. I burnt my paintings. It was pretty stupid, but I was really mad, angry, and resentful. So, but yeah, I woke up with those guys in there. I was out of it, and they had their guns pointed right at my head, man, full tactical gear. The other lady that was there had told them I was in the military, and so they sent like the serious cops for me. And fuck, man, I think they had just shot a couple of people within the last few weeks, so they were trigger happy, man, and they had them pointed at me, and I didn't understand what they were saying. I mean, I knew what was going on, but I can't really move all that well, and I'm trying to get down on the floor, and I finally get to the point where I could show them my butt, and then they kind of chill a little bit, and they just, tranquillo, tranquillo, and I have no idea what's going on. I figured they thought I was going to try to commit suicide or something and call the cops on me. I had no idea I had pushed Marcy. So, because, in my mind, I really didn't, but, that's semantics, I suppose. You I grew up in sports, and, me and my buddies, we pushed each other all the time, but she wasn't supposed to be my buddy, so that's where it's wrong. But enough of that. So they come in, man, and they're, dude, I've been arrested a few times, so I'm no saint. I grew cannabis for a long, long time, so I was very involved in the war on drugs. So, but yeah, they got me down on the floor, and they saw my butt, and then it kind of really chilled. Like it was super tense up to that moment, and once they saw my condition, and they kind of chilled out, and they took me to their car, but they all I had on was a pair of shorts. They didn't even let me get my shoes, nothing, man. I had a pair of shorts on, and they didn't even fit that well. So, and they took me to the hospital in Santa Rosa, Baja, California, sure. Uh, so, yeah, and I mean, they treated me well. I mean, it was scary at first, but they got me to the hospital, and they got me in there and hooked me up to an IV and something. But the next morning I came to, and my IV bag was empty, and all of these other things were empty, and I just got this weird feeling that some shit was going on, man, that I didn't really understand. That started getting paranoid, and their demeanor towards me was very angry, and I still don't know why. I don't know if it was the Annuncia because I had shoved Marcy, and it's, Annuncia is like a domestic dispute kind of thing or something, ticket, or not a ticket, but I don't even know. Or that I didn't have any way to pay them, because I didn't have my bank card, and you know, even though it's affordable medicine, you still got to pay. I mean, Universal, excuse me, they still want a copay. So if you can pay it, so I don't know if that was it, or I just don't know, man. But I think I stayed there till like the afternoon, and nobody would respond to me. And so finally, man, I just pulled my IV out, and fucking, I bolted right out the front door. All I had on was my shorts. No wallet, no phone, no nothing. And I was paranoid as fuck, man, because I didn't know what was going on. So I bolted, and I remember laying there in the bed and studying the route and just looking, okay, how can I get out of here? And studying the route and seeing where I could go once I got out, because there was a lot of stairs, and it was on top of a hill, and I sat there and planned my escape, basically, because I knew something was going on, man. So yeah, I bolt, man, and I run down the stairs, get going down the hill, barefooted, fucking rocky road, and I run down on the backside of this little mountain, and I find an overhang, and I just climb in there and lay and get as small as I can, and you know, I laid there probably for an hour to see if anybody would come look for me, and then once that happened, I ran down more of the hill, and there was a school there that was closed, and I was able to just relax there. It had a bunch of trees. It was really shady because this was July, so it's very hot, 100 degrees every day. So I chill out there for a second. There was a guy there, and I don't know. He spoke English, I think, but I don't know. It was just odd that. Oh, he was there with his dog. That's right. And then there's another little big staircase down the hill, down to the bottom, into the riverbed, I guess, where the town is. And I come down the hill, and there's this guy there. He has like a little restaurant in his house, because it's a really tiny town. And he sees me. He just took pity on me. He must have he saw through me, and he gave me a shirt. I still have it. A little red Nike satin shirt. And I'm going to stop filming right there because I want to listen to my audio recording and make sure I tell this right. Because he ends up giving me a pair of shoes the next day, I think, or something. But I'll have to listen to my recording I made right after all this happened, because it's still very foggy for me. So, but yeah, I'm going to be traveling up to the border from La Paz. I don't have a passport, and it wasn't being malicious there or anything. It was just, my partner wanted to go, and Trump was freaking us out. We thought he was going to lock the border down, and she's Jewish, so there was that whole aspect of it. And, we just had to get the hell out, but we can only afford 2 passports, expedited passports. So, I had every intention of going back up to Tijuana, to the State Department there, and having one done. But, then COVID hit, and by the time we came out of COVID, man, my cancer was, I was advised not to travel, and my previous partner, she said, you need palliative care, man. And I kept asking her, I need to go to La Paz, man, and see a doctor. I can't, because she was treating it with me. I was making my cannabis oil. She was making salves and soaps and creams and all kinds of things. We were doing all kind of organic capsules and, like essential oils. So, but we could man, it just seemed like we could never get on top of it. And that's really what destroyed our relationship there was, her being my caretaker and my lover. It just doesn't go well together. Or at least it didn't for us. Because I guess I'm kind of a jerk sometimes. Don't mean to be. But I don't have my passport, but I knew that crossing the border that I didn't have one. I mean, I knew it. So I brought everything I needed. I have my birth certificate, my discharge papers. I have a real ID from Colorado. So I'm hoping for some compassion at the border. I'm just going to tell them my story because it's kind of an emergency. I mean, like I said, I almost died on Christmas, and that really just, I was planning on not going. I was going to hang out here another couple of months and get better for travel. But it just didn't happen, man. It just didn't happen. And now that I know that I can get on a domestic flight with just my driver's license, like I said, I'm going to fly up to the border, walk across. It's been 30 years since I've done it. I mean, I was in the Navy last time I walked across that border. So that should be interesting to see what it looks like now. But that's my plan, is to fly there, and then, that's my doctor. That's my plan, is to fly up there and hopefully get up across the border in pretty quick order. And then get on a flight to Denver, and then take the Amtrak down to Colorado Springs, where the hospital I want to go to is, because they have all levels of the cancer care there, palliative, hospice, and all that stuff. So, and I'm looking at getting the ball rolling on the veterans' homes as well. So, but I don't know if I'm going there to die. I don't know if I'm going to go there and get better. I mean, right before my massive bleed, I wanted to die. I even posted on Facebook, please take me, man, please, because I can't fight it. Fuck, man, it's too much. And I've just actually started. I'm eating some peanut butter today. I've been fasting since the last time I ate was Christmas Eve, and it's the 30th today. So finally was able. I just was throwing up the last few days. I could barely keep water down. So, but my doctor said peanut butter's good, and I love peanut butter and orange. She told me to eat fruit, and so I'm eating peanut butter and oranges. It's a pretty good combination. So, but I'm just going to show up at the border and plead my case. I've got all kinds of documentation on my cancer, and I'm telling you, if they let me show them a picture of my ass, or let me show them my ass, I think they're going to have some compassion, because it's pretty brutal, man. It's very painful, and I do feel my strength coming back. I had to walk to the store today, and it wore me out. And I live right next door to the store, so even just going up and down the stairs is still really strenuous on me right now. Makes my heart pound. I'm out of breath. So, but I've got 5 days. So hopefully I can just, I've been laying on my side, laying down for, it feels like 2 years now. I've been bedridden. I don't know, man. So, but I'm going to be going to a hospital in Colorado Springs, and we're going to go from there. But what was I going to say? Yeah, we got the veterans thing going, and I just hope I make it. I don't know what's going to happen when I get there. What the treatment's going to be, if they're just going to. I'm in pretty bad shape. So, but like I said, I got 5 days to recuperate more, and just rest and get ready for the move. I'll try to film as much as I can. Hopefully I have the strength. Because it's going to be a lot of walking, and I will have one bag with me. So, but I know that's a lot of walking to get across that bridge. So I just thought I would film it. I thought it might make for an interesting story. Like I said, I've been treating my. Like I said, I've been treating my cancer with a naturopath here, who I've actually started to see. Well, I was seeing, but she just doesn't have enough time in her life. She's too busy for me, man. But I saw my doctor for a little while, but I've kind of called that off. because, like I said, a caretaker too close to the partner is not a good thing, and I already think it's wearing on us. So I'm stepping away from that. But she blew me away the first moment I saw her, so no doubt I'll definitely tell the story later on. Because I hope to, while I'm in treatment, not only tell you about my treatment, but maybe tell you some cool stories about my life. It kind of, I'm kind of calling it my Christmas miracle now because, I almost died on Christmas, and I really, I could sense that I still had that will to live, and because I could have just went down. I mean, I've told myself several times that, all right, the next one, man, I'm just going to let it bleed, but I don't do it. So, but I could have very easily gone down, man, and not woken up. I think my psychedelic experiences for that, my ego deaths, for lack of I don't know if that's politically correct anymore, but I've had probably 1,000 ego deaths, so, yeah, maybe 500, I don't know, I've had enough. So, and it was very similar, and I've overdosed twice in my life, so, was in a coma for 30 days once, and the last time, I was pretty out of it for about a week, I think. I just didn't take enough that time, but but for whatever reason, I'm still here. But I call it my Christmas miracle because it really woke me up. It's like, all right, man, you got to get up to the States and you got to get into a hospital where you can use your insurance and see if you can beat this or not, man. And if you can't, if it's a terminal case, then at least you can get out of the pain. So, man, I've been in terrible pain for 4 years now. It never stops. It's constant. And the infections are getting bigger and more painful. And like I said, there's the whole numbness thing. So it was kind of a wake up for me. And these wheels have been in motion because I was having second thoughts on going. I was like, I'm really scared to get detained for too long in my current state of physical health. And what if they're going to make me get an emergency passport? Then I'll have to stay in Tijuana for maybe up to 3 days. So I was really having second doubts. And then that happened, and I got to get out of here. I got to get to a hospital. I mean, the hospital here is good. It's just I can't afford it. I'd be paying everything out of pocket, and I can't afford it. So we're going to make a little film of this trip. I don't really know how I'm going to do it yet. I envision just kind of piecing it together later, but I'm not sure. But I wanted you guys to see me on my first day out of the bed because I've been in a bed for 5 days. It was the sickest I've ever been, and I caught pneumonia up in Alaska a couple times. It was the sickest I've ever been. I mean, I was so sick it was painful, and I couldn't get out of the bed. Every time I stood up, I felt like I was going to pass out. So, yeah. But today's my first day out of the bed, and I was able to finally keep some water down yesterday afternoon and not throw it up. And I had a lot of pain, indigestion type pain. It was pretty painful, and I started thinking maybe it was some hunger pains because I hadn't eaten in 5 or 6 days. I don't remember what it is, but I was fasting. I mean, I couldn't even keep water down, so I certainly wasn't going to eat. But I started getting painful indigestion pains, and I thought maybe it might be hunger pains. So, and I believe it was because I had these little bit of mashed potatoes in my refrigerator, and I ate maybe half a tablespoon of it, and that indigestion pain kind of went away. So I went to sleep last night going, okay, man, tomorrow you need to eat something, some fruit, go get some oranges, and the peanut butter was a bonus. But I already feel better. It took a lot out of me to walk to the store, so I'm fretting a little bit about being able to do this. But I'm a seasoned traveler, and you know, I'm not supposed to have any intent upon arrival, but I have a lot of intent upon this arrival. So, uh, but I see myself laying in bed getting better in a hospital, and or maybe I'm just happy I'm not in pain. I'm not sure what the vision shows me, but I've envisioned all of this, so figured I'd film it. We're gonna see what's gonna happen here, and maybe I can tell some good stories along the way. So, but next stop is going to be Tijuana. I was checking everything out today and figuring out how to get from where to there, and there's a little cross bus that goes right from the airport to the border crossing, so that should be pretty easy for me. But my bank card's expired, so I'm gonna have to travel with thousands of pesos, which is gonna suck. I'll have to exchange them when I cross the border. Um, but that just kind of goes to my case, and I got to figure out if I can. I got to figure out how much time I might be detained at the border, while they verify my identity. 'Cause I'm sure they're gonna do that. But they might just let me go, man. They might just fucking hear what I got to say, and they just go ahead, man. Go get better. Happy holidays. That's what I'm hoping for, but probably not going to happen. That's not the Moody way. But yeah, so next stop will be Tijuana, and hopefully shortly thereafter San Diego for another flight to Denver. But I'm going to turn this thing off now because I think the battery's about to be dead, and we're just going to sign off. So, hope you like to join me on this journey. If I'm putting this on YouTube, hit subscribe or follow and all that stuff. I haven't decided quite the format I'm going to try to do this in. Probably just do some pieces all together once I get to the hospital, and then maybe start doing some live stream kind of things. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I just think it might be an interesting story. So peace out. Thanks for watching.